G'day everyone, I am BlueBlaze and welcome back to part 6 of my Halo stage tier list. Continuing from last time after Halo 3 ODST, today I am going over Halo Reach and its stages. Halo Reach is the final Halo game made by Bungie for the franchise. In this video, I shall see if the culmination of every stage made by them can come together and make some of the best stages in the series thus far. A reminder if this is someone's first video. I feel this list is free-flowing and can change between videos or in the video if I change my mind whilst recording. Anyway, without any further ado, here is my tiering of Halo Reach's stages. Skipping over Noble Actual, as it is mainly a cutscene, Winter Contingency is the first level of the game. I feel it seems to suffer from the same thing that many other first levels do in my tier list, and that is the being a level that teaches you everything you need to know in a good fashion, and not much else. Personally, I quite enjoy the ability to choose where you go in the stage as well, rather than a strictly straight path. From this, I think I may place Winter Contingency in Legendary tier above Repairs and below The Great Journey.
I'm seeing Heat 6.
The second level of the game, Oni Sword Base, is not quite my favourite personally. Like in ODST, I think the idea of exploring an Oni building is quite interesting. However, I feel the building itself seems to be simple and greyed out, and the rest of the stage feels as if it is a quite standard playthrough for the Halo series. Therefore, I think I may place Oni Sword Base in Majestic tier above Quarantine Zone and below Alpha Base. When looking at Nightfall, I think it may be a callback to the Truth and Reconciliation from Halo CE, and personally, because of this and the level's overall quality, it is probably my favourite level in the entire game. I quite enjoy the sniping in the night and meeting up with some people to find they have stolen UNSC technology. I think that's quite fairly interesting personally. I have been tossing up whether this goes into Legendary or Mythic tier, however I feel I've decided that Mythic tier at the very bottom is where it can be placed. Tip of the Spear is probably one of the best levels in the entire series for depicting on-ground and in-air warfare. The world feels quite large as you move around from one location to another, usually by vehicle, and the level seems to throw a fair amount at the player as well, with anti-air weapons to take down, on-ground and in-vehicle battles, air combat in the side of a Falcon, and scuttling a shield tower. I think, with all of these things in mind, I may place Tip of the Spear in Legendary tier above Two Betrayals and below the Ark. Whilst I quite enjoy the battle up the beach at the start of the level and the space battle is pretty neat, I feel Long Night of Solace's battle through the Covenant ship seems to make the level take somewhat too long for myself. I do not understand why the characters could not use the ship. They had just captured for themselves rather than having to blow it up and lose George with it. I think that's how it went anyway. With all of these aspects combined, I feel I may place Long Night of Solace in Noble tier above Cairo Station and below Kikawani Station. Exodus' city exploration is a fairly neat concept, however I am unsure if I'm a fan of the aesthetic of the stage overall, and I feel the encounters do not work for me personally. However, the jetpack section is quite a highlight. Therefore, I think I may place Exodus in Noble tier above Uplift Reserve and below Tayari Plaza. Something I quite enjoy about New Alexandria are the Hornet sections. I am glad they take up a fair chunk of the stage, as I feel many of the other sections do not seem to do much for me. When it comes to putting it in a tier, I feel the placement may be in Legendary tier above the Flood and below Cleansing. For myself, the package feels as if it were made specifically for the firefight map to come from it. The level seems to play as a somewhat retread of Oni Sword Base and Tip of the Spear, with the rest of it having the players sitting and defending Dr. Halsey underground. My favourite part of the level overall is probably the nice visuals that come from it. I think I may place the package in Noble tier at the bottom below Coastal Highway. The Pillar of Autumn is probably my second favourite level in the entire game. Apart from all the ties to previous games like Captain Keyes, Cortana, the Pillar of Autumn itself, I think something about the pacing and the battles seem to click with me. I do not think I have much else to say, however, therefore I feel I may place it in Legendary tier above Winter Contingency and below The Great Journey. Skipping over the epilogue, Lone Wolf does not have much from me. I feel it is a neat sort of final stage for showing off Noble Six's demise. However, I don't know if it does much more. That's my personal opinion anyway. I think I shall place it in Noble Tier, above Beachhead, and below Crow's Nest. Okie dokie, this is the current standing for my tier list, and I think I may have to figure out a way to fit things in if it keeps filling up this quick, as I still have a fair way to go. Halo 4, Spartan Assault, Spartan Strike, Halo 5, Halo Infinite. Yeah, I've got a lot to go anyway. However, for this video at least, I believe that may be all from me, and I quite hope everyone enjoyed the video. Cheers everyone! The second level of the game is not quite my favourite personally. Like in ODST, I think the idea of exploring I'm only exploring a building. Like in ODST, I think the idea of exploring and only building, and I can only say only building. Exodus's city exploration is a fairly neat concept. However, I am unsure if I am a fan of the aesthetic of the stage overall, and therefore, I think I may place Exodus in Noble Tier, above The Pillar of Autumn is probably